Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week. And tonight we have a bonus show. We have a fantastic episode, a fantastic guest. There was no doubt going to give us some real good stories from his travels and stuff like that. As always, joining me, Mark, our co-host here on the Upper Tier, of course, my brother in arms, of course. But tonight we're joined by not only the only Irish player to play in the FIFA World Club Cup, Dylan Connolly. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good. What an introduction. Not bad. Thanks for having me on.
Flying the flag.
Thanks for coming on. You're a busy man.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the week that's in it now. When does it kick off now? Is it the end of next week or something? Next weekend, is it?
Our first game's the 15th, but I think the tournament starts on the 14th, so the day before.
Okay, so that's probably next weekend to be an open ceremony and all that kind of thing, I'd imagine, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, take us back to the beginning before we get into the travels and how you find yourself. And I mapped this yesterday, Dylan. 18,116 kilometres from Dublin to Auckland FC. So there you go. So but before we get into that, give us a bit of background to yourself and the family and the football and all that kind of stuff.
I suppose I grew up in Clondalkin originally till I was about 5 or 6, and then moved to Selbridge in Kildare. And St. Francis was my schoolboy club. So I played for St. Francis from what age was I? Probably 7 to about 15, 16, and loved my time there. Had a really good schoolboy team. A lot of players made the jump from that team over to the UK, signed professional contracts, and then the rest of us went into the League of Ireland academy system, which had just started at that time. So I think we were the first under-17 team in the League of Ireland system. That was just when the academy started to be kind of brought in. So I originally signed for Shells and played for Shells 17s for I think it was 2 seasons before making the move to Drogheda for under 19s, and then stayed there for I think a year and a half or so as well, and then ended up going back to Shells 19s for a couple of months, and then finished up at under 19s. I was getting too old and wasn't getting into the first team by the looks of things, so I took the step down to the Leinster Senior League. I say step down from 19s. League of Ireland's probably a step up to the Leinster Senior League, and signed for Lucan United, so my local team. They were based in Selbridge at the time, so it's just a minute or two down the road, and started playing senior football. So I stayed at Lucan for 2 years. Absolutely loved it, loved my football, loved my time there. Great club, lots of great people, coming from under 19s, you probably take a little bit of a confidence hit because you're expecting to go first team, and when it doesn't happen, I suppose it's important that you're just playing men's football, because that's what all gaffers want. They don't want inexperienced players, they want players who've played. So even though I felt at the time it was a step down, it definitely wasn't, and that was probably the best thing I could have done, was go play for Lucan. And we did really well with Lucan. We won the Charlie Cahill Cup, and we got promoted from the second division to the top division, and stuff like that. So really, really enjoyed my time there. And then I wasn't cracking getting back into the League of Ireland at that stage, or there wasn't an opportunity that interested me enough to leave. So I just I wanted to change, and that's how the whole move to New Zealand came about. It was kind of like a half football move, half lifestyle move. So I knew I'd go over there to play, but part of me was just wanted something different from Selbridge and different from Ireland at the time. I finished university, I'd been working full time, and I just wanted to try something new. And then the kind of new football experience came from that then as well. So I think it was the end of 2023 I found myself in Auckland, with no club, with no real connections, and then that's when the journey really started from there.
Did Johnny Talon not send the scouts out from Lucan United? No, good old dancer.
When I talk about people within the club, that's exactly who I'm talking about. People who are just there every session, every day, and it's unbelievable people. Just want the best for the players and the club. Like, just
Yeah.
want to see us do well and give us everything. Like, because Lucan is like, obviously again, it's an amateur club. It's in the Leinster Senior League, but they're doing things properly and they're taking things really serious. And I hope now in the next couple of months they get into the League of Ireland third division, because I think they'd be a great addition to it. I believe they're trying to get into it. So hopefully they do, and hopefully they go and smash it. Yeah, I'd love to see them do well.
Yeah, I was talking to Dancer this morning, believe it or not, when I was dropping my little girl to school, and he was disappointed. Mocktus bet them there the other night, and Mocktus won the league on goal difference. So he was trying to stop them to win the league. I think Kilbarrack were in second place. So I think there was 6. They just won it on goal difference by 6 goals or something like that.
Yeah, it went down to goal difference. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of it over here just because of the time difference and stuff. But I'm always trying to stay on top of it. But yeah, I like Kilbarrack. Mocktus are a great club as well. Like when you talk about Leinster Senior League, they're kind of always around the top of it, aren't they? So it's tough to beat them. But yeah, Lucan won it the season I left, so that says a lot.
And come here, Dylan, just going back to Shells, was Duffer manager of the 17s when you were there, or was that just after that?
No, that would have been... No, I think he was the 15s, was he?
Oh, he's 15s, yes. No,
I think he was the 15s, but I don't know. I don't know if he was there. I think he may have just came in. And then I left. When I went back to Shells from Drogheda, I was only there for a couple of months. It was like my last couple of months at 19s, and first team wasn't really working out at Drogheda. So Shells kind of had asked me to come back in and said that there might be a chance for you to get into the first team if you do well. And then I was like, oh, well, I may as well take it, because I didn't think anything was going to happen at Drogheda. But looking back, I probably made a bad choice there. Going back in, Shells were flying at the time, and we're investing a lot into the team. And I did get to train with the first team a couple of times, but yeah, it didn't really come close. But yeah, look, everything happens for a reason. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be in America right now. So
it's a good experience along the way, isn't it? Like,
yeah, well, I think if you ask any footballer, there's always going to be them like knockbacks and stuff like that, and like even the best footballers in the world have them at some stage. So it's just one of those things. That's why, like, coming from 19s, there might almost be like a bit of a stigma around the Leinster Senior, and like I don't want to go and do that and stuff. But like honestly, it was the best decision I made. Like I would say to any 18, 19-year-old that's struggling to get into the first team, go and get minutes. You know, go to the best club you can get into in the Leinster Senior League. Play men's football. It's physical. It's intense, and like just try get your confidence back. Try play as many senior games as you can. Like over that 2-year period, I'd say I played a lot of senior football. As a what age would I have been, like a 19, 20, 21-year-old. So it's invaluable at that age. And then maybe you give the League of Ireland another crack or go abroad or whatever it might be.
So Dylan, question for you: How did you arrive at New Zealand, or was there other ideas in your mind? And like, how did New Zealand come about to be the place to land? Were you looking for the furthest point on the map to get away to, or?
Honestly, like everyone asks me this question. And like I've had this question so many times from friends and family, and I have no idea why I came to New Zealand. I've not a clue. I think I wanted a similar lifestyle to Ireland, with just like maybe better weather and a few more beaches and stuff like that. So I think it was just looking. It was either going to be New Zealand, Australia, or maybe Canada or something like that. I didn't really want to live in America or the UK or anything. I wanted something a little bit different. But yeah, I don't know what it was. I work as a physio, and I know getting physio registration in New Zealand is quite easy. So maybe that was the thing that kind of made it stand out to me a bit more than Australia. It was a bit harder to get your qualifications brought over. But yeah, I have no idea. And even my missus, she came over with me, and she was like, "Why are we going to New Zealand?" I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you. But like, yeah, something just drew me towards it. And it's quite similar to Ireland. Like, in a way, like the weather's a bit better, but like the people are sound. It's very green. Like they have a winter. It's quite similar. I know it couldn't be further away, but it's actually not too different from home.
But your weather over there, it's more blocky, isn't it? So you can plan your lifestyle and stuff like that. Like it's not like here, if they tell us we're going to have a lovely day tomorrow and we plan a barbecue and then it lashes rain for the day.
Yeah,
I'd say in New Zealand there's a bit of consistency to it, yeah.
Yeah, because you get an unbelievable summer. Like you'll get a good 6 months of summer where you can head out in the sun, and like I'm wearing sunscreen. I'm spending a fortune on sunscreen. But yeah, it's you get a nice summer, and then in the winter it's a bit more unpredictable, but you still get your sunny days and stuff. But it's nothing compared to winter at home. Like temperatures are a lot higher. So yeah, in that sense, it's good. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough being away from family, being that far away. Like I think it takes, depending on what flights you get, it takes between 30, 40 hours to get home. And then there's the time difference, getting the time off work, the expense. So it's tough. I did manage to get home at Christmas to visit, so that was great. And I'm going home again this Christmas. So yeah, it's good. It's definitely good to get home, but it's a long way to travel.
What was the initial reaction, obviously, with the missus and with the family when you said, right, I'm going to New Zealand?
Well, my missus was delighted because she wanted to something different as well. So that was an easy chat. We both wanted to just change it up a little bit. I think my family knew that once I kind of got my qualifications and had a bit of time, that I'd want to go away for a while. Yeah, I've always wanted to travel. And I never really knew where. My sister did it when she was younger, and it was just always something I wanted to do. So I think they kind of knew. I can't remember having the conversation. I can't remember saying, "Look, we're leaving, and this is when we're going." But I think it was in the pipeline for a while. Yeah, I got my qualification through COVID, and I actually had planned to leave before, but COVID put a stop on it. So I probably would have left 2 years earlier if that didn't happen. So it was a bit stop and start. So I guess it was expected when it came, because it was in the making for about 2 years or so.
And obviously with Australia and New Zealand, they were very strict in terms of COVID and the lockdowns and all that kind of stuff and all. So you arrive into New Zealand and you're looking to play a bit of football. So talk us through that, who you went through. And I'm obviously a Liverpool fan. Mark's a Man United fan, but I was pleasantly shocked when I read the name of one of the teams that you played for. So close to Liverpool.
Yeah. So I'm a United fan, just put that out there.
That's okay.
Yeah, you're outnumbered. But yeah, I arrived in New Zealand with no club, and it was like I probably could have sorted a club before I came over, but I didn't want to overcommit myself to something when I didn't know where I was going to be living, what I was going to be doing, what the club situations are like over there, the contracts and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to just get here and have a look first, almost. And I came over at an awkward time. There was only 4 or 5 games left in the season, which I didn't know about when I was leaving. So I ended up actually signing for a team in the 2nd division in New Zealand for them last 4 games. They were struggling a little bit in the league, and just had heard that I came over and just said, well, do you want to come in and play with us for the last couple of games? And I was like, perfect, get my fitness back and then see what my options are. And like the quality surprised me a bit. Like that was the 2nd division, and like it was tough, it was good. But I ended up playing them last 4 league games as a centre back, and had a good couple of games. And then I think the week after the season finished, I just got a call from a coach in the top division. And he just said, look, I've watched the video clips of you playing them 4 games. He said, I'd love to have you in. He said, I want to come see you. I want to bring you up training. But he said, if you want to sign something now, we can sign something now and let's do it. And that was it. So I was buzzing. Like I was really happy to get a club kind of straight off the bat. And a big club in New Zealand as well. So they were Birkenhead. So they make the kind of, over here you need to make the top 4 in the top division to make the National League, because it's done by region. So they'd be in the National League year after year. Big club, like everyone knows them over here, decent fan base and big size club. So I was delighted to get that over the line and start going there, and didn't really know what to expect, whether I was going to be playing on the bench, have to work my way up. I had no idea. But that went really well. I really enjoyed my time there. Like a really nice club to play for. Ended up playing pretty much every game in the season. We actually ended up losing in the national final to Auckland City. So then that kind of leads on to how that move happened this year. So we played them, I think, 4 or 5 times last season. We would have played them twice in the normal league, would have played them in the National League, then in the Cup and in the National League final. So we played Auckland City 5 times last year with Birkenhead. So I had lots of exposure to playing against them, and they're the team to beat in New Zealand. They pretty much win every trophy every year. So you're always trying to impress when you play against them. You always know there's eyes on you, and it's kind of like almost the club that everyone wants to play for over here. So yeah, you're going into them games thinking, if I can do well, maybe there's a move there, maybe there's some interest there. So I kind of went into them games with that thought process, and then we played them in the National League final, and I had a decent game, not my best game, but a good game. And then after the National League final, Auckland City reached out and just said, look, we'd be keen to get you in for next year if that's something you're interested in, if you're staying in New Zealand. And it was like, absolutely, yeah. I'll grab that with both hands. I didn't really have any intention to going home yet anyway. Like I probably would have stayed with Birkenhead for another season if the Auckland City move didn't come about. But yeah, that came about pretty much straight after the National League final. So that was in December. And then by January, it was all done. Had agreed to come. I was actually in Ireland at the time when we were sorting it out. So I was staying up to 1 in the morning, ringing the chairman in New Zealand, trying to get it sorted and stuff like that because the time difference. So it was an exciting time. Bit of a nerve-wracking time as well because I wanted to get it over the line and stuff like that and didn't want it to fall through. So yeah, that all got sorted, and then we got back to training in February and started preparing for this season.
Rolmy's in there. He says his girlfriend wouldn't even have to ask him once, and he'd be out the door before the suitcases. There you go. He also says he's an honorary Liverpool fan tonight to balance the books. Before we get in, a couple of other questions in there as well, but before we get into it, what months, Dylan, does the season run over there? Because obviously you have extreme heat at times as well, and
yeah, so there's 2. So you've got the regional phase, and that runs from March until about August. So that's quite short. And then the top 4 teams from the northern region, which is when we're in, go into the National League. So that'll run from September to December. So then you'll play the top 4 in the north, play against the top 3 in the central, and the top 2 from the south. So they go into a national kind of championship. You play to finish in the top 2, and then the top 2 play a grand final, and that's your national winner.
And the teams that don't qualify for that, do they continue playing each other at the earlier stage, or does their season just end then basically?
No, their season just ends.
It's
finished. Yeah, it's crazy. So they'll only play from maybe the start of March, or is it the end of March, until August, September.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very short season.
Interesting,
if you don't make it, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting the way it's structured and stuff like that. But again, you're probably dealing. How many teams, Dylan, are we talking about in total? So at the beginning stage.
So I think there's 12 in the top division. So 12 teams, 4 make it to the national phase, and then I think it's the same. The central has 12, but they only get 3 spots, and then the southern has 12, but they only get 2 spots.
Okay. And what defines the coefficient in terms of 4 spots, 2 spots, 3 spots?
Usually that's just don't know how to say that, but the northern region's the strongest usually.
Okay.
And then kind of central and southern. I guess over the years they've kind of worked out how competitive each division is and who gets what spots. But the northern would typically be the strongest, with 1 or 2 teams from central would do quite well. But yeah, the northern teams like Auckland City would usually do quite well in the National League and stuff like that.
Yeah, and this question probably feeds in from Romy as well. He's talking about the atmosphere on a match day and what's it like and all. What's the coverage like down there? Because obviously we know how big rugby is and the All Blacks and all this kind of stuff and all. What's it like football-wise?
So, like coming over, I thought football in New Zealand was small and probably not too big because you hear about the rugby and the stuff like that. When you get here, it's a bit different. Like, so I got here just after the Women's World Cup was held here. So what that did, each team had a base in New Zealand and they picked certain clubs for that. And each club that had a women's team based there got almost remodeled. They got new pitches, new changing rooms, all facilities. So I arrived at the perfect time. Apparently the year before wasn't as good, but when I arrived, most of the big clubs had a new pitch, a new changing room. Like Birkenhead, for example, had a completely transformed facilities. So football had just come a long way. But I like, if we're comparing it back to Ireland, there's still a massive gap. Like the facilities are good, the coverage is okay. So all of our games will be streamed on FIFA Plus. So that's a lot of like Oceania footballs on that. So all of our home games, most of the away games will be on FIFA Plus. I think Sky Sports used to do it, but they don't do it anymore. So FIFA Plus took it over. But like in terms of like fan bases and stuff, we're still a long way away from Irish football. Like the Auckland City would have a small fan base, and like in our kind of home ground, there's one small stand. But like Birkenhead, there's a little stand behind the goal. We had a decent fan base there as well. But outside of that, there's not much. So you don't have many like just people who support the club with no connection to the club, if that makes sense. Like outside of family, friends, and people like that, like not a lot of clubs would have a big following. So it varies a lot. So if Auckland City were to play Birkenhead in a big game, you'd get a decent crowd. Like at our National League final, I think there was I can't remember now, maybe like 4,000 or so. But like outside of that, if we play a team that's quite far away with a small fan base, you might get a couple hundred max. Some games even less. So it varies a lot. Yeah, it varies a lot, and depends on the club. So still a long way to go. I think football is now the most played sport in New Zealand. So I think it's definitely growing, and I think it will grow.
Emerging,
yeah. I think it's taken over the rugby. Like a lot more of the kids are playing football now.
What's the longest trip for you, Dylan? Let's say an away game. What's the furthest you have to travel? Because it's such a huge area.
Yeah. So once we get to National League, we fly to the games, to the away games, because there's no bus. So New Zealand's made up of 2 islands. You've got North Island and South Island. You don't typically drive. You can drive from one to the other, but you've got to get a ferry in the middle. But obviously for football, we'll fly. So we play Christchurch. Would usually be down that kind of southern Kashmir Technical or another team. So we would kind of, you got like 40 minutes to the airport and then 1 hour flight and then 40 minutes to the pitch. If you were to drive it, it would probably take a full 24 hours. I'm not sure, or maybe like 12 hours or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, so for the National League, you're flying. In the northern region, you've still got a couple of away days, like 3-4 hour drives. But yeah, once it gets to national, it gets serious. And like if you're one of the South Island teams, every away day you're traveling up. So at least in the northern section, we've 4 teams from there. So there's a lot of investment in it. Like a lot goes into it.
Quite a cost. Yeah, quite a cost. Yeah.
Like an away day at the Brandywell or Ballybuffet.
It's crazy. Like there is a lot that goes into it, and it's all amateur. Like so, every club is technically an amateur club over here.
Tell us this, Dylan. I listened to one of your interviews today as well, and you touched on something that I thought was quite interesting about this religious aspect and spiritual aspect to it and all that kind of thing. How culturally different is it when you move away into the different sectors or into that kind of knockout phase? Can it be very different when you travel from region to region?
I suppose in New Zealand, it will be quite similar to Ireland, I would say, in that regard. The main difference I found with that stuff was when I traveled to the Pacific Islands, and that was like a different world. Like that was like I don't know, it's not like a bit of a culture shock, I suppose, but in a positive way. Like it was great to be involved in and great to see. But yeah, so far I've played football in the Cook Islands, the Solomon Islands, and Tonga. So they kind of make up the Pacific Islands, and like heavily religion based kind of stuff over there. So when we went over, that was for the OFC Champions League. So like this is the Champions League in Europe, this is the one for Oceania. So obviously smaller scale, but same principle. So each team that wins the league from each island, so New Zealand being one, goes to play each other in a kind of knockout tournament, or just like a normal tournament over a 2-week period. And the winner then goes on to represent Oceania in the Club World Cup. So that's how this came about. So yeah, I got to play in a couple of the islands, and I played for a team from one of the islands. So before I'd even played for Birkenhead, a team from the islands approached me, a team from the Cook Islands, and said, would you be interested in signing a short-term contract to come play for us in the OFC Champions League qualifiers? And once I asked Birkenhead, I said, look, am I allowed to sign a contract and come back? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. It's pre-season. Like, go do that. It'll be a great experience for you. So went over to the Cook Islands for a week or two, trained with the team, and then we flew to Tonga, where the tournament was going to be held, and we played against all of the other islands. So that was like just after I moved to New Zealand. Like, I barely found my feet yet, and I'm traveling.
That's a culture shock,
yeah.
Culture shock,
Traveling over to countries that I've never even heard of. So that was crazy, yeah. But it was unbelievable. Like, the main differences there was like they're very religious. So like we'd have to be prayer time. We say grace before meals. The huddle before a game is a more religious kind of ceremony rather than a team talk, and stuff like that. And like the standard of football is obviously a little bit less because they're small islands, so less tactical kind of stuff like that, and just more based on kind of motivation and stuff. So yeah, that was a crazy experience. Them qualifiers, we actually missed out on the finals by a point, I think it was, but still like unbelievable experience. And it was good, yeah. So I played for that team for I think 3 or 4 games, and then came back, and then the season started with Birkenhead a couple of weeks later. And then forward on to this year, when I left Birkenhead, signed for Auckland City, we had 3 league games, and then we had to fly over to the Solomon Islands to play in that tournament again. This time, obviously, with Auckland City in the finals, and we won it. So we won the OFC Champions League. So different perspective this time, and it was unbelievable. Yeah. So like we played against who did we play in the final? Hikari from Papua New Guinea. We played them in the final, and we won 2-0. So that was crazy, and that was like in the Solomons. It was like a neutral venue in a state-of-the-art, brand new stadium. I think there was, what would there be about? I can't remember what the attendance was, but a good 4,000 or 5,000, I'd say, at least, maybe more. And they were all from the Solomons, just coming to watch as a neutral. So yeah, it was unbelievable. And then we came back and just got stuck into the league.
You were probably standing there going, Jesus, this is a long way from Baldonnell from playing for St. Francis.
Again, I'd like to dig deeper. How are you received into this? Like, you're obviously, would it be the goal? How do I put this? Would it be the goal if you're playing for one of the teams on the islands, not you, but locals, let's say? Would their goal be to get to Birkenhead or get to Auckland City? Or is their goal, is like their goal, the islands? That's, this is our home, spiritual. This is where we want to play. This is where our ancestry is, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I'd say it's a bit of both. So I know actually last year, after Auckland City played in the OFC, they actually signed a player from it, a player who played really well against them. And another one came over on trial, I think, or was due to come over. And then this year, after we played in the OFC, another team from New Zealand took players over on trial from the islands. So I think they're trying to make them pathways, and I think players from the islands want to come across. Like, there's some players from them islands who have gone on to be professionals, like from Fiji and Vanuatu, who've played in like the World Cup qualifiers for their country, now have played in like the A leagues and stuff like that as well in Australia. So there's definitely a bit of a pathway there. I would just say that it's very tough for them to get across because of obviously probably the quality of coaching, facilities, all that sort of stuff. It's a harder journey to make, to get
probably over. The financial aspect of it as well, I'd imagine.
100%. 100%. But then a lot of it is pride, playing for your town and like where you're from and stuff like that. They're actually launching a new professional league next year by the sounds of it. So it's going to be called the OFC Pro League. And they're going to have professional teams based in the islands and in New Zealand, and potentially Australia, and they're going to play against each other in a pro league. I think there's only going to be 8 teams in it, so that's going to run separate to the New Zealand league, and this will be a fully professional league, like full-time football, professional contracts. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, or who. I think FIFA are going to fund it for the first few years to get it off the ground, but there hasn't been too much information on it yet, but that's due to kick off in January.
Yeah, Romy's in again. He's asking, is there anyone we should be keeping an eye on that you've seen out there playing that could potentially make it and stuff like that? And yeah, Dylan will let you know when he becomes a scout as well as a coach and a physio and everything else.
Yeah, mate, add it to the list. So like there's a lot of players that have actually made the jump from New Zealand to Ireland in the last couple of years. So there's a couple that played for Sligo Rovers in the last couple of years. So one of the boys on my team now, Auckland City, played for Sligo a couple of years ago. Ryan De Vries is his name. So he'd be one of the older lads here now. But when he was younger, he played for Sligo for a couple of years. He loved it over there. There's another Kiwi playing for Sligo now. Oh, I don't even know his name. I don't know him personally, but I just know he's over there. So there's definitely a pathway there. There's a link there. Again, it's tough because it's probably a big jump in terms of standard, going from the league here over there. But the best players do. Like one of the lads I played for at Birkenhead last year played for Wexford the year before, and he's Kiwi.
Oh, cool.
So like we rocked up to pre-season, and I was like, "Oh, did you play for Wexford last year?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm back in New Zealand this year. And I was just there for a year." And I'm like,
so random, isn't it?
So he played against my brother. He was playing against my brother the year before. They knew each other, and then he seen me at pre-season at Birkenhead and was like, "Are you his brother?" Like just like
That's
on
mad,
the other
man.
side of the world. Like crazy
And of
stuff.
course, Aaron is doing brilliant things down on that loan and stuff like that, isn't he?
Yeah, he's enjoying himself there. He's done well the last couple of years. A bit of a rough start this season, but I'm sure they'll turn it around. But they've had a great couple of years over the last few, getting into the playoffs and stuff like that.
I think with the Inter manager, he's been there with the club he was managing underage and stuff, so he understands the club, so I can see him getting them back on track, you know?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, I think they've done quite well over the last few years, and they've had a lot of changes. I know there was like takeovers, and then they've gone, and like they've had a lot of change in terms of managers, a lot of players. Like a lot of players have just left, I've heard, and it's just I think it's a bit of a rocky road there at the minute. So I think once they steady the ship, the results will turn a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us this, in New Zealand at the moment, what's the media coverage being like around the World Club Cup at the moment, and you guys in there and stuff?
Yeah, to be honest, like I've seen more. I've had more Irish media outlets approach me than what I've seen in New Zealand. Like it's weird. Yeah, I'm not sure. I probably don't keep up with New Zealand media as much now. Like to be fair, so I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I don't know. If it was a team from Ireland going to play in the Club World Cup, you could imagine the coverage. Like you could imagine the hype around it. Like it would be insane. So I don't think they've got on board with it the same way other countries would, but the club's promoting it really well, getting stuff out there and things like that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Like I don't know. I know a lot of the senior boys did a lot of interviews and stuff before we left. Maybe they're exposed to it more because they're Kiwi, and I'm just exposed to the Irish side more. But I'm sure once it kicks off, there'll be lots going on and on the news and on all the football stuff over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's get in. We're 32 minutes in. We haven't even spoke about the World Club Cup yet, even, you know. So I suppose we should chat about it, really, shouldn't we? Talk to me without going down through the groups and giving us your ideas of who's going to come out and who'll progress and stuff like that. Let's just focus on your own group there, which to me is the group of death. Bayern Munich, Boca Juniors, Benfica, and yourselves. Talk to me about that as a starting point.
Yeah, it's probably, apart from that group with Juventus and Man City, I'd say it's probably the toughest group, or could be even tougher than that group. Yeah. So I wasn't even an Auckland City player when the draw was done. I know the boys all sat down in the club and watched the draw live, but that was before I was even signed. So I seen the draw and I just thought, wow, them lucky fellas are getting to play in that. And then as the weeks went on, I realised, oh, this could be me. I could be part of this team. So yeah, look, like I think if you're going to go to a tournament like this, these are the teams you want to play against, isn't it? Like we're an amateur club, like coming over from New Zealand, and it's like if you're going to play in the big leagues, you may as well play against the best. So I think what bigger teams could you get? Like Bayern Munich, probably one of the biggest powerhouses in European football in recent history. So yeah, unbelievable. And then you've got Boca Juniors, who everyone knows about Boca Juniors, even if you don't keep up with that league, you know, just their fan base and their support and passion. Yeah, their history. So like to play a team like that in America as well. So we play them in Nashville, which is Southern. So their support will be unbelievable, I'd say there. So that could be unreal. And then Benfica as well, like another European powerhouse. So yeah, it's one of them. I think when the draw is done and you're leading up to it, the excitement's building. Now that we're here, it's kind of like okay, let's forget about the names and let's just focus on what we've got to do, because what else can you do? Like, we're here to try and give the best account of ourselves as we possibly can. We've got a game plan, and we've got an approach that we're going to try our best and try stay as competitive as possible for as long as we can. I suppose that's all we can do, because you could easily get distracted with all the smoke and mirrors and like everything that's going on. But at the end of the day, it's a competitive tournament. We don't want to just come over for the holiday. We're trying to take it as seriously as we can. The club's put a lot of effort into preparing for it and like providing us with everything we need to do well. So I think it's one of them we've got to kind of just focus in now for the next couple of weeks, and then I'm sure in the weeks after we'll be like, wow, that was some experience,
Romy is saying Group H easy peasy because he's a Real Madrid fan. So there you go.
Not bad. Still not a bad group though. Al Hilal and Salzburg. I suppose like if you look at the nature of the teams, there's no easy group, is there? But it's unbelievable. Yeah,
Dylan, we were doing a preview of this last night on the podcast for our Thursday show, and the one thing we said is it's a massive opportunity for someone to present themselves on that stage, because every time a tournament like this is ran, there's always a selection of players there that come through that we either didn't know about or we didn't realise that talent was there, and they come out like stars, and they potentially might get that elusive contract into Europe or whatever it is and stuff like that. So it's always a great opportunity for someone to, step out and be that kind of shining light, either in a group stage or, we've seen it before with Japanese players and Chinese players and, even the African nations and stuff like that. And also, what you're thinking on this? You get in there, give a good account for yourself and the team and all that kind of stuff, and see how it pans out.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing with tournament football. I think players can definitely stand out, and it's on the world stage. There's going to be a lot of eyes on it, so it's going to be an opportunity. But from a player's point of view, I think you just take it as a normal game, because if you think about it any differently, then you're kind of you're not going into the game as you should be. So I think it's just for us anyway. Like, given how difficult it's going to be, it's just, can we stick to the game plan? When can we play to our best? Like, it's going to be obviously different for like other teams maybe, but for us it's going to be, how can we stay as competitive as we can? How can we play really well as a team? And then I think anything else that comes out of that is just a bit of a bonus, like, I'm not going into the tournament thinking like, oh, I want to get that contract. I'm just going in thinking I just want to give the best kind of account of myself I can and see what happens from there.
Soak it in and enjoy the whole experience as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And Dylan, how's the prep gone? I know you mentioned just before we came on there about where you have been training, but just to let the viewers know where you have been and what you have been up to,
Yeah, so I suppose preparation started in February when we got back to training in pre-season. So I would say our year is kind of being geared towards this. Like, we've been training pretty hard, fitness levels, high intensity training sessions, trying to get us fit for now. We obviously had that tournament in the islands, and it was like 30. I can't even remember what temperature was, but it was high. So that was kind of almost training in the heat, made us a bit fitter. We came back, had a couple more league games. And then, the preparation here has been really good, because most of the teams are on international duty, or a lot of the players are. So we've got to come over 2 weeks before the tournament starts and just kind of acclimatise to the time difference, to the temperature, to the country, stuff like that. So we came over on the 2nd, and our first game wasn't until the 15th. So we had almost like a 2-week camp leading up to it.
Nice.
So we're just a couple of days into that now. We landed in Philadelphia initially. We trained for a couple of days in Philadelphia Union's training ground, and then yesterday we played their second team in a friendly in their stadium, which was also unreal experience. So that was our first game, and then straight from the game we came to Washington DC, and now we're in Washington DC for 5 days, and we play Alain, who are in Group G. So we played them in a couple of days for another warm-up game. And then from there we go to Chattanooga, which is in Tennessee, and that's going to be our camp for the rest of the tournament. So we'll fly from there to the games, but we'll be set up there for the rest of the couple of weeks.
Nice. And tell us, Dylan, give us a breakdown of the Give us a breakdown of a typical day's training or a typical week's training.
Yeah, so I suppose back in New Zealand before we came out, we kind of upped it because we knew we were coming over here. So these clubs are training all day, every day. Like, and we typically would only train 3 nights a week with a game on the weekend. So we train Monday to Thursday, so 4 nights in a row. We take a Friday off, game on a Saturday, Sunday off. So that was our kind of schedule leading up to this. And then since we've been over here, it's kind of mixed because of travel and kind of other commitments and stuff like that while we're here. So at the minute, we've just been training once a day. And I think the plan is now to transition that into twice a day over the next couple of days. But it's tough. You can't really change things too much from what you've been doing at home, because that change in routine can kind of cause a little bit of mental fatigue, physical.
And you're
fatigue,
quite
like
close. That. You're quite close with kicking off as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you're almost coming into that tapering period. So yeah, we need to kind of be careful with that, I suppose. But the clubs looking after us, like coming out that early, getting these friendlies organised and stuff. They're giving us the best possible chance to perform, and stuff like that. So yeah, they've got it all under control. Lots of staff with us, lots of people helping us and supporting us. So the preparation's been really good. Like, it's definitely not been an amateur preparation. Like, I know we're an amateur club, but they're taking it extremely seriously and giving us the resources to have no excuses really when it comes into the games.
Yeah, and tell us this, your time in Philly there, where you played there over the last couple of days or whatever it was, can you see the impact that the MLS is having and that the growth and the money being invested? Can you see that firsthand?
Yeah, like even driving around, you can see the football stadiums. Like, yeah, you know, Americans like to do everything really well. But the Philadelphia Union Stadium training grounds, like top level. And I believe like even some of the universities and stuff around the area are the same. Like, and like you think of university football in Ireland and stuff like that, like they don't have that sort of facilities. So yeah, like they've got, I don't know how much the capacity is in the Philadelphia Union Stadium, but like probably about 20,000, I'd say. But like top of the range, looks out onto the bridge crossing Philadelphia and stuff. It's unbelievable. And then the training facilities were great as well, like lots of training pitches, indoor pitches, stuff like that for the winter. So yeah, it's unbelievable. And then since we've come to Washington, we trained this morning in George Mason University in Washington DC. I think that's a Division I university, and their training pitches, oh my days, like in terms of the actual surface and the grass, probably one of the best I've ever been on. Like,
and then obviously the facilities and the gymnasiums and everything that goes with it is probably unreal. Like, it's like,
we even just had a walk in after training. We had a walk into the indoor track, and like they've got all their trophies on display, and it's like next level facilities.
Because I was saying to Mark a few weeks ago, Dylan, I watched a documentary called Onside, and it's a deep dive into the MLS and its progression and all that kind of stuff. And people would have a view that the MLS is really a pension proper for, you know, players returning from the Premier League and the European League, stuff like that. But when you dig into it and stuff like that, that the following and all is incredible. Like, it's really tribal over there and stuff like that, like the NFL and stuff. Like, it's not quite to that size, but certainly they dig in, especially on the college scene as well. It's huge.
Yeah, I think it's going to grow. Like, even one of the things I noticed when we were playing in Philadelphia Union Stadium, like before you go into like the ultra sections, like a sign, it's like no away colors, you must be standing for the game. And I'm like, I love that. Like, I love it. Yeah. Like, they're taking it seriously. Like, they've got their hardcore support. Philadelphia Union are actually top of the MLS at the minute, so like they're one of the better teams. And no, definitely, I think it's its own league. I don't think it's a graveyard for older footballers or anything like that. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to grow over the next few years. And like, I think just the money that's been invested into it and the advertisement and stuff like that, I think the only option is for it to grow, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us this: you're in the stadium. It's an hour and a half before kickoff against the mighty great Bayern Munich. Have you any pre-match rituals or any kind of? Tell us, is there anything there? Is it left boot on first, right boot on first? What is it? Is
Dylan, is it your traditional pancakes for breakfast? I've seen them on your Insta.
That was the first thing I was going to say. Yeah, so like game day for me will never change, whether it's playing a local game compared to this. Like I think you just have to stick with what you do because you don't want to change it up. I think footballers are quite superstitious. So yeah, as you said, I'll have my pancakes in the morning before the game. I know I feel good after that, so I'll have that. The hotel is putting them on the menu, I believe.
Brilliant.
And then it's now once you get to the game, I don't really have anything crazy in terms of superstitions. Like I'll just make sure fueled well. I like to listen to some like energetic music or like a podcast, motivational podcast or something like that on the way to the game, which I always do. And then once you get to the stadium, it's just stay calm, really. Just like get through the warm up, okay, build up slowly, and by the time the game comes, you want to get up to that game tempo. Like I like to like visualize things a little bit as well. So think about how I'm going to play on the pitch. Like think about winning some tackles, putting some crosses in, stuff like that. So I'll be thinking of that from the morning of the game all the way up until kickoff. But yeah, like just the boots go on normally, the socks go on normally. Nothing crazy there.
Tell us
Maniac
about
2000 playing on the way to the stadium.
Tell us about the dynamic within the team, though. Is there lads who are just headphones on, want to be left alone, get into the moment? Is there lads down the back of the bus with the ghetto blaster going, jumping around, going all this? Tell us what's the dynamic in the team with the lads and stuff.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's really good. Like it's a great group of lads, and even the team I played with in New Zealand last year was the same. Like good bit of banter, like joking around, stuff like that. So it's a good place to be in a dressing room. But then on game day, yeah, everyone's got their own little things. I think for the most part, the speaker's on and everyone's listening to that, and everyone's part of the dressing room, and no one's really off doing their own thing. Maybe that might change over here with lads wanting to be a bit more focused or a bit more in their own space. I'm not sure, but usually it's just speakers on. Everyone's listening to the same music. Everyone's getting ready. We get to games nice and early. You see the physio. Everyone's in the physio room having a chat, that sort of thing. So it's just like most dressing rooms, I'd imagine. There's definitely no big egos. There's definitely no, there's nothing really negative. Like everyone's really positive. Everyone's having a chat. Everyone's supportive. So it's a good dressing room to be in, and I think that'll help when it comes to the bigger games when the stakes are a little bit higher.
Dylan,
go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, Dylan, in terms of the manager letting you know the team before the game, is it night before? Is it the day morning of, or what way would you usually do it?
I think it changes depending on where we are, what we're doing, and stuff like that. Like, but before these games, we'll know a couple of days before, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But it depends.
My 6-year-old trying to say hello.
That's okay.
Believe it or not, Dylan, she's in the Lucan United Academy. So she's saying hello.
She could be in America in a few years.
So Dylan, we mentioned at the start, Dylan, you're the Irish representative in there. So you have to carry the weight of this country, right? So you're in the huddle. It's against Bayern Munich. What's the talk, lads? See that Harry Kane lad? He's mine. He's mine, lads. Talk to me. Who should we be looking out for? What's the matchups in these games and stuff? Who are the guys on the team? Shout out some names there.
On our team?
Yeah.
I was gone. I missed you there. What did you say? Sorry?
Yeah, no, I said on your team. Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose like we won't know the team who's starting yet because it's been quite chopping and changing all season because we just have so many games. So I suppose it depends when it comes to the game. But yeah, I know the centre backs are looking forward and hoping that Harry Kane plays. If Harry Kane doesn't play, then Thomas Muller will probably play. So it's not a bad little change there.
I don't know whether I'd like to have a go off Thomas Muller. Harry Kane I'd be fine with, but Thomas Muller might concern me a little bit.
And cause you know who else is in the group? Cavani playing for Boca.
Yeah, yes. Cavani's there as well. Yeah, I'm a United fan though. I'll let him go. Yeah, like I suppose it's like we're probably not going to be thinking about the names too much when you're in the game, because you're just on the football pitch. But yeah, leading up to it, there's obviously that bit of excitement around who you can play against. Like for me as a fullback, thinking about their wingers, it's just like, what other opportunity are you going to get to play against some of these players, So yeah, it'll be a crazy experience.
But in the middle of that huddle, lads, I don't mind if we play well and we get beaten. It's Bayern Munich, but under no circumstances does Harry Kane score or get a penalty today, no matter what. Even if 40 is have to go on him, anyone bar Harry.
That's the hard thing. You don't want to make him angry either. So
No,
yeah.
absolutely.
There'd be a rush after for his jersey anyway, I'd say.
Yeah, that could be a bit of a competition after the game. Yeah.
Well, we see few comments. Last time I watched MLS, Inter Miami looked like an American Barca legends with Suarez. Still the same. They've added a few more, I think, as well. So yeah, absolutely. And it's I'm surprised it's looking like Modric won't be going to the MLS. Looks like he's going to AC Milan by the looks of things.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Have you seen the New Zealand women doing the haka in the rugby? If I was dating a New Zealand woman and she did the haka with the piercing eyes, I'd be doing the dishes for a month. Absolutely. Dylan, you'll rinse Harry Kane. Don't worry, fella. Easy shift for you.
Don't know about that.
Yeah, no, just talking about Georgia there. If any of the lads in the chat there go on to Dylan's Insta, there's a great video of you on the training pitch by yourself whipping in crosses on the training pitch, and then it cuts to you on a match day doing the exact same thing. There's a few crosses and then there's a penalty you take and stuff like that. It's brilliant. Like,
yeah, I suppose that's part like the whole like visualization part of it too. Like if you've done something 1,000 times training, then it just automatically comes on match day. And I actually work as a football coach in New Zealand, so a lot of my like videos I post are based around what I tell the kids to do. So I'm trying to practice what I preach. Yeah, so if I know I'm going to be putting in crosses in a game, I'll try go out during the week and do 50 crosses and just try and make it muscle memory almost.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I do it when I can. But yeah, it's good. It's kind of like targeted towards other footballers and stuff, and trying to because I'm trying to coach a lot of young footballers over here. So if I can show them that I'm doing it, hopefully lead by example a little bit too.
And what's their reaction been to you heading off to the World Club Cup?
Yeah, it's been good. So I coach like kids between the ages of like 7 and 8 up to 15, 16. So you can imagine at that age, they know all the big names and stuff like that. So yeah, they're excited to see me over there, hopefully play. And yeah, they're all asking me to get them jerseys and stuff like that, which is probably not going to happen. But yeah, hopefully they'll all be watching.
Going home with you.
It's great for them though, like to see their coach taken to the field against a Bayern Munich or a Boca Juniors or a Benfica and whatever it is and stuff like that, you know. So it's cool as well, you know. So and it's very rewarding, Dylan, as well, isn't it? Coaching at that age. I coached from under 12s all the way up to under 19s in the LFL here, but the under 19s you kind of get to the under 16s and they kind of start answering you back, and it's not quite the same.
You think that's bad? Imagine being a referee with that age group.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a referee, but yeah, definitely.
I've been chased out of St. Francis's by a certain Richie Connolly a few times.
I was going to say probably me and Aaron as well at some stage.
I do have the car. I do have the car all ready to go. I'm like Tyrone out of that guy Richie film. Ready, Mark, into the patch. Let's get out.
Away you go. Let's go. Let's 100%. Get out there.
Right. So who's your tip to win it? Who are you picking to win it? Obviously, we want Auckland to get as far as they can, but outside that, who do you think is going to win?
I think Real Madrid are taking it quite seriously. Like they've just paid 10 million for Trent to play, so they're not going into it lightly. If they're paying 10 million just for him to play these couple of games, so I think it's the first year that's happened. They're usually one of the best teams in Europe. I think they'll go for it. They've got an okay group as well, so they might be rested going into the knockouts. But it's hard to know. I think like you've obviously got Man City, you had a poor season. Maybe this could be something that they look to win to try and make up for that. I'd back Real Madrid, to be honest. Maybe Bayern if we can't top the group ahead of them.
There you go. Could be coaching our future Galacticos. There you go. Dylan, my new mate now. Good man. There you go. Romy always looking out for Real Madrid. Who's going to be that next star?
And I'm sure the Abbey Lodge is going to be packed for all the games as well, Dylan, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the games are at a good time in Ireland, actually. I think they're at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or something, so just after work.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say I don't know whether whether my dad and stuff be watching in the house or in the Abbey Lodge. But
Yeah. He'd
either
probably
way,
be in the Abbey Lodge, I'd say.
I'd imagine, yeah. So either way, there'll be good support from him.
Class. And
Absolutely,
just
yeah.
as a United fan, let's get your take on the upcoming season. What do you reckon is going to happen?
Do you not want to talk about last season first? No.
Let's look ahead.
You're sure now. You're sure now, honestly. Like,
it's all about the future, isn't it?
It's over my shoulder there. You see there.
Let's look ahead. I'd say.
Yeah. Never look back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. I'm a positive person, so I'm going to say they're going to have a good year. But I've been saying that for a while now, so I'm not sure. I like Amarim. Like, I definitely do like him. I think he's the first coach that's come in and like looked like he's kind of knows what he's doing a bit, but I don't know, results have been terrible, so I'm not sure. But I think a couple of signings, like I know they're signed Cunha, maybe Mbermo as well. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I think maybe a defender in there as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a goalkeeper. I'm not sure what they're doing there, but it'll be better than this year. That's for sure. Like it couldn't be the same again. It just can't be.
You can feel a lot of the scouts are going to be looking at this tournament, aren't they? It's going to be heavily scouted and stuff like that to find that golden nugget that's in there, that's on a reasonable price and stuff like that. That can, that has a big ceiling and stuff like that. And also, I think there'll be a lot of scouting focused on this tournament as well.
Yeah, they'll definitely be looking into it. I suppose, like, from United's point of view, if they buy them two players, I don't know how much of a budget they're going to have left. I don't know. I know they're very tight with their money at the minute, so I don't know what he's going to be given and how it's going to go. But I think definitely need to get another defender in there. And yeah, Bruno staying by the looks of things. So I think we'll be all right. I think it'll be a better year. But yeah, Liverpool have looked like they've made some good signings as well, so they'll be strong again next year.
Yeah, never think you'd say it, Dylan. I can't believe it's Liverpool. When people talk 130 million for a player, I'm going, what's going on at Liverpool? Is he about to put it up for sale or something? Because that's not how we work at all.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, but I don't know. Yeah, they've obviously got it there if they're willing to spend it. So I don't know what they're doing, but it seems to be going away from their old model of buying players.
Yeah, too. No, but myself and Niall had said it before. Ruben was thrown in the deep end coming in October. He didn't want to come in until the end of the season. So I think with a full pre-season and full transfer window behind them, I think it can only be a positive thing. So touch wood. It can't get any worse anyway.
Can't get any worse. So whatever happens will be a positive.
They're clever as well. You're signing Premier League proven players, so there's less jeopardy of it not working out. Because I think once you go through this and you clear out the players you want to sell as well and invest that money as well, I think it has to work. Or then if it doesn't, you're in serious trouble. Then
Yeah, I think they're signing players at an appropriate age as well. In the past, you've just gone for big names who are at the end of their career, and it just is not a long-term option. So I think Cunha's a bit younger. Like hopefully be there long-term. So.
But they're Premier League proven as well, so you're not going to start off in August and go, this guy needs 3 months to bed in. They're going to hit the ground. They have to hit the ground running straight away and stuff. So so it's going to be interesting, but it'll be
just a question for you while you're here, Dylan, before you head off. Would you have any aspirations about coming back and going back to the League of Ireland?
I think if an opportunity came up, I would definitely think about it. I think living on the other side of the world, like there's a lot of times where you do want to be closer to your family and stuff again. So I think that would be a big draw. Like it would have to be probably like quite a good opportunity for me to come back now, or in the next year or so. I just think I'm enjoying my life out here, enjoying football. So I'm not sure. Like there's a couple of different avenues, I suppose, when you're over this side of the world. And one of them could be going back to Ireland, definitely. Like, yeah, I've thought about it, and I've thought about what type of opportunity it would take. But I suppose it depends. We're just going to see how this season goes. And then see what comes at the end of the year. If there is something there, and it's like, and I want to kind of be at home again, then it might be something I can look at. But yeah, I'm just going to focus on this season, same as what I did last year. Just kind of try do as best I can up until that last game, and then see what happens. Because we've got a lot to look forward to this year. Like after the Club World Cup, we're back to the league, and then we have the FIFA Intercontinental Cup as well, which is in Africa. So yeah, it's going to be hopefully a very good year. So just going to focus on that for now and then see what happens in the next year or so.
Yeah. And it's great as well. We're having the coaching and the physio as well. So you have a lot going on there, you know, so it's pretty cool. Well, listen, all I can say is, listen, thanks a million for taking the time to come on. Really appreciate you coming on. Absolutely wish you the best of luck. I hope you hammer all these teams. I hope you do really, really well.
We'll have to get you on after to let us know how it all went then, you know.
Give us a background of how camp and everything and all went. But I also read like they had a bit of success, didn't they? Back, was it 2014 or 16? They had the bronze medal.
Yeah, they finished third in the Club World Cup in 2014. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bit to match up to there as well. Bit of club history.
Yeah, no, they've done well in the past, and they do well. Like, they play in these FIFA competitions every year. Like, I know it's not. This is the first year that's been the Club World Cup and a tournament style, but like they're playing against these top teams every year in either knockout games and stuff like that. So they compete really well. Obviously this year it's a little bit different because you've got the 12 best teams from Europe instead, where it's usually one team comes into it late. So the standard's definitely raised. But yeah, look, you never know. You're on a football pitch for 90 minutes. You just play the game and see what happens, I suppose. Like, that's why we enjoy football. Anything can happen, really.
And it is the year the underdog, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bar Liverpool. Yeah, but there you go. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck. We'll follow you all the way through and stuff like that. Keep in touch with us as well and let us know how you're getting on. And look, we'll be singing the praises back here as well. Everyone back here is so proud of you participating in and stuff like that. And it's no throwaway to say you're the only Irish guy in there playing and stuff like that. So that's really, really cool, I think, as well. And I think a lot more media should be thrown on that, and it should be highlighted more and stuff like that as well, you know. So Roby's in with one last one. He says you're welcome in Derry City as well if you want to join Andre Wisdom. And he also said he loved the show and all the best, Dylan. Everyone knows you're going to knock it out of the park.
I appreciate you having me on, lads. Cheers for that.
Thanks a million for coming on, Dylan.
Make sure, folks, go over to Dylan's socials and follow him. Dylan, shout out your socials there and let everyone so they can follow you now.
It's just Dylan Connolly Physio on Instagram and TikTok, really. So yeah, head on over and have a look if you're interested.
Yeah.
You'll see all them lovely pancakes.
And if you want to learn how to take a corner,
are you going to do match day vlogs for the Club World Cup?
I'm gonna try. Yeah. So we'll just see. I don't really think about it at the time. I kind of just play the game, and then if I've got footage, I'll post one. But the focus will just be on the game. But we've got like social media kind of people with the club and stuff. So if I manage to get some footage, I'll definitely post it.
And listen, when everything settles down, we'll get you back on again, and you can tell us how it all went and all that kind of stuff, and give us a breakdown of everything. Yeah, absolutely. So listen, safe travels. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you doing really, really well and all that, and keep in touch. Appreciate you coming on.
Cheers,
Dylan.
Cheers, Dylan. Thanks a million.
Bye.